Hello, everyone. Turn this down a little bit. Welcome to another 8-Bit Art Streams. We are coloring some comics tonight. Coloring a comic tonight, likely. As we're only doing this for an hour. But yeah. So it's nice to be back. Not totally sick anymore. So that's nice. I haven't started anything yet as I have a puppy on my lap. Auntie, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? No? You want to lie down? Okay. Can I have my arm? Okay. So this will be interesting. Might use quite a bit more of the mouse than keyboard controls. What? You don't want to get on camera? Say hi to everybody. Here, come on. Come on. Oh. Oh. Look. Look. Say hi. Say hi to all the people on Twitch. No. Okay. Why don't you go help Mama? Okay. Alright. That was the 8-Bit Adventures Chief Dog Officer, Monty. He is in charge of naps and treats and making sure that everybody is being good, because he is a good boy. This is on my playlist, right? It is. Okay. Let's just repeat. Just to make sure we don't play anything that's not vetted. So. Oh. So yeah, no streams last week, aside from Tales of Jamora. I got hit with just a really, really brutal cold. The end of the week prior, and it just carried me all the way through the weekend, and then transitioned to a sinus infection, and it was just not great to deal with. I sounded awful, so any sort of streaming would have been bad. But it's nice to just have like a nice low-key kind of stream to get back into things. So because of Valentine's Day this week is Megan and I will be taking a night to ourselves and going out to dinner and doing all sorts of nice stuff. The game night stream is moved to Tuesday. So think I'm going to be playing Monster Hunter World tomorrow night. As I've hit high rank and I have been enjoying it. And if we see a Deviljho, there may be all sorts of screaming and fear and terror, which I know always makes for good material. So I was doing a quest where I think I was just searching for like ore, that I was just gathering ore or whatever. And not only did I run into Deviljho, I also ran into Odogaron. Or Odogaron. And it did not end well. That was a fight that I did not want to have anything to do with, between the two of them. Sorry, I keep getting notifications from work. Basically, the ads are running amok on the website. I don't have Final Fantasy VIII. As you know, it's not coming to Switch. What is it, on Steam or something? Because I have never played it. Ever. Yeah, but then I have to pay for it. But I'll add it to the show notes, though, because that'll be a good thing to talk about. Be a good palate cleanser after the, God, that awful Aladdin teaser. I know it. I can't. I can't with the blue Will Smith. I don't know. I kind of wish they just had it be Will Smith. You know, dressed up like a genie. Although I think what would have made it better is if they did a callback, and they had Shaq play the genie. And then you can have a I don't know. You know what? There we go. Yeah, we could finally get the Sinbad Genie movie that everybody claims to remember but never actually happened. And then we just make it happen. I still think Shaq would be the best. Reprise his role as Kazam. No, it's not real. They've said this a number of times. There is no Sinbad Genie movie. Does not exist. So by the way, I don't know if you noticed, I basically decided to make all you crazy cast members mods in the channel. Figured you should, if you're, especially if you're on 2 different shows, you should probably have mod privileges. So don't abuse them. That's what that little sword icon means. I'd imagine the biggest thing is to unban people for using caps, if we, know them personally. In case they do. Or for excessive emojis. I feel like all the people that tuned in for the first Tales of Jamora never came back after getting blocked for emojis and caps. And for patrons, the first patron-only comic is going to go live this week. And going to have some news soon on the next podcast offering. There'll be a test episode that goes up for patrons. And we'll look for feedback. See how that goes. Did you catch Monty on earlier? Right when I started the stream, he was on my lap. Kept trying to get him to sit up so that people could see him on the stream. But he was all tired out. for the hair. Actually, no. I wonder if I should play Monster Hunter World tomorrow on stream, or if I should continue doing Let's Go Pikachu. Continue on our way to Cerulean City and go fight Misty, where we have 2 Pokemon with type advantages against water types. No! She's fine. There's Nightbot. That'll probably be a gym battle where I just, like, throw Bulbasaur out there and it's just like, yeah, just do your thing. Can probably solo this gym as well. I wonder at what point I'll catch Squirtle and Charmander. Only Metapod the whole game? No. I appreciate people that are willing to put themselves through that torture. I'm not one of those people. I basically used to do the Blastoise challenge, which was just use your starting Pokemon to sweep the whole game. And in fact, defeated the Elite Four at level 32. With a lot of really lucky Blizzard crits. And freezing. So my question is, would it have to be a Metapod that you raised from a Caterpie, or would it have to be a wild Metapod that you catch? Because there's a difference between the two. Yeah, no, that becomes you keep using Harden until you run out of power points, and then you use Struggle. That is... And that's a dumb game. Why does it keep resetting my position? I don't like that. Stop it, Photoshop. Stop it. I do think what would be interesting, that does give me an idea though, is to essentially like roleplay one of the NPC trainer classes and then limit yourself to only the types of Pokemon that that trainer class uses. So if you pick like, I'm going to be a youngster, like I'm going to be youngster Joey and talk about how awesome my shorts are. So like you can only use Rattata and Pidgey the whole game. Because that's all he ever uses. Or, if you pick, like, Swimmer, you can only use, like, Horsea and Goldeen or whatever. Or if you pick, Fisherman, you only get to use Magikarp. That might be interesting. So I heard the next D&D book is going to be like a bunch of nautical stuff. Kind of like I guess it there's some rumor that the name would be something about walking the plank or something. But it would be like aquatic adventures and undersea adventures and nautical adventures and everything. Which I know is your favorite. Beyond also, I guess they showed something about maps. Yeah. I mean, between what your game was doing, what my game was doing, what Critical Role was doing, and then I think there was like one other game in which there was like water stuff happening. It was just a lot of very similar content all happening at the same time. Oh, geez. I think what I would like to do for the next game, you know, Assuming everything goes well, you know, a couple years from now. Nice. So I think I'd like to do some kind of like airship game. Or at least some kind of like that airships might factor into it, but a lot of like aerial stuff. Almost kind of like a Skyward Sword vibe. A lot of like floating islands and everything. I know High Rollers is kind of doing an idea like that as like the backdrop of their current game, although they haven't gone to any of the floating islands or whatever. Like it started there in like the prologue, and now they're like on the ground. But I kind of just liked the idea of like Skyward Sword, where you have you know, a whole bunch of like floating islands. It's also like Baten Kaitos, which I actually really liked the lore of that game. Ugh. But we still got plenty of story left in Jamora. Or rather, the current campaign, because it would still be Jamora. For a moment, I almost thought that said Bungie and the Jungie. Alright. Oh, okay. Did not note that. Okay, so that just pushes it back 2 weeks. All right. Got it. That means that I will likely stay at home and watch Were we gonna have a bunch of people absent? Yeah. Definitely know that feeling. So, all right. Probably just hang out with the Monstie then. Since Megan will be dress shopping again. So that kind of works out. That way I'll be able to just stay home and watch him. Make sure he doesn't have a wild party. With the shrew. And whatever other little critters. Although I haven't found evidence of them, so I wonder if they, like, moved out when the weather got warm. Or if they, I don't know. They just decided that they didn't want to put up with us. Another notification from work. This must be the last one. Right, maybe. Nope. Different one. Fantastic. Hate advertising. So if anyone out there that's watching happens to work for ad networks that traffic digital ads, can you do me a favor and make sure that you're not trafficking garbage to publishers? Because I got to deal with that stuff in my day job, and it gets really old when I get notifications that Google's turned your stuff off because there's malware, and then it turns it back on because it's cleared again. It would just be nice for me to not get 12 emails for stuff that happens automatically. This is also why, folks, 8-Bit Adventures is ad-free and will always remain ad-free. Well, at least I can't speak for the Twitch channel. I don't know how it's currently set up. If people are actually seeing ads or not. I don't think you should be, because I'm not an affiliate. And I don't really have much control over that. However, I can tell you on the 8-Bit Adventures site and in the podcasts, there will never be ads. Because I got to deal with that stuff in my day job, and I don't want to deal with it at home. So, if you would like to support 8-Bit Adventures and keep it ad-free, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. And through your patronage, it will allow me to add cool projects to the lineup. Like this patron's only... I guess I'd call it a cartoon series. I wouldn't really call it like a comic. Because it's more kind of like stuff that you'd see in the paper. Seen too many images of characters at point blank. Oh no. Well, what kind of weapon are they using at point blank range? I mean, like, I can see if they're trying to use like a sniper rifle at point blank range and having a 14% chance to hit. But if you're using like a melee weapon, I don't know. That's too low. So I could see that. Yeah. Hey, you know what game doesn't have a randomized chance to hit or miss? Monster Hunter. Because it relies on collision detection instead. So if you miss a lot, like me, occasionally, the solution is get better. I think you might dig it. Because, I mean, I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to do a little bit of a grind for materials. But like I found that there's multitudes of ways to get those materials. Like there's different missions and stuff. So like it actually makes it really efficient for farming the materials for that gear. And even if like I don't get the drop like right away, I still found I'm doing a fraction of the number of fights that I was doing in like MMOs in order to like craft a set of gear. I'm also finding that you don't have to craft a whole set of gear to like get the utility that you need. Like it might be that you only need to craft like 1 or 2 pieces of a set. One word of advice that I do have is honestly, I wouldn't worry about crafting any. So like there's low rank and high rank. And when you go from low rank to high rank, is you don't use any of your low rank materials at all. At least I don't think you do. There may be like a couple materials here and there. So basically like you start over. So my recommendation would be is that you like build one set of gear for low rank and then don't bother like crafting any other gear. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Okay. Maybe I'll dust off the Wii U. And when you start that over, when you start playing that, I'll start over. I'll make a new save file and I'll make Old Man Sean. Since the game takes place in like 2032 or something like that. It's one of those like weird near future, but we have like interstellar space travel kind of things. So after I had made the character, I realized, like, I went through the cutscene realizing what time, like, what the year was, and I was like, oh man, I could have just made myself as just, like, an old man being all, like, crotchety with a sword. Just be like, dang kids, get off my lawn. Cut the whack. Yep. Also, remind me to send you at some point. Somebody redubbed the new LA theme with Luigi. And it's fantastic. Actually, let me see if I can find it right now. Let's see. New LA theme. Yeah. Oh, it's great. I think it came out, like, around the time that the whole Luigi death stare was a thing as well. So it was just, like, added bonus points for that whole shenanigans. think they've said they'd like to remaster it for the Switch. So, I mean, I could see them working on it. I just know Nintendo has, like... Nintendo has Monolith, or, like, parts of Monolith working on all sorts of, like, other weird projects. Like, I didn't realize apparently they did all the map design for Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I would like to know. I mean, given that the Switch has been finding really good success... Oh, excuse me. They've actually had really good success with porting over and remastering Wii U titles. I would be really surprised if they don't bring it over. I think one of the things that they've said was a big challenge was how the map would work. Because basically... the way it worked before was, like, you would... Sort of like how the 3DS and the DS, like, would operate, was that you were looking at all the action on the TV screen, and then you would use the map and, like, point out icons and, pathways and stuff, like set paths and stuff like that on the map screen on the gamepad. So I don't know if they would just, like, scrap that functionality and rework it or something. Alright, so... Where's that poster? There it is. Okay. So I ended up submitting a piece of artwork to PubDraw, which is sort of the latest show offering from Critical Role, where Marisha and Babs, it's almost like drawing lessons. And they talk about how to draw like different characters from Critical Role. And the most recent episode they did was of Jester, and they had Laura on as a special guest. And I guess what they do is, after the episode, people do artwork and they can send it in. And if they pick your artwork that you send in, you have a chance. Or rather, if they pick it, you win a Wacom tablet. I still maintain that that's not the right way to pronounce it, but apparently that came from the actual company, so that was for the benefit of viewers that are not you, Josh. In case other people watch this later on YouTube or something. Me too, but apparently they got really touchy about people pronouncing it differently. This one's going to be a bit of a yellower green for these hills. So we're probably just going to finish up this this panel and call it a night. We could do that. We could just like airbrush in la color. All right, I will talk to you soon. 10-4, good buddy. Let's actually get this base coat in here. So I think that's pretty much going to be it for the night. So, hope you've enjoyed hanging out, watching this art stream. We'll be back tomorrow evening with either Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Monster Hunter World, depending on what I feel like, and depending on who I can pull in for some possible multiplayer, maybe. If you enjoyed this content, you want to see more content, whether it be podcasts, streams, comics, artwork, head on over to 8bitadventures.com. If you want to support that artwork and get access to some cool patrons-only content, we do have a Patreon at patreon.com/8bitadventures. There's no dash in that one. And you can follow this stuff at facebook.com/8bitadventures, and I am on Twitter at 8bitadventures. With that, I am going to head off for the evening. So have fun, everyone. Happy gaming, and enjoy your pie cake. Good night, folks.